guys, this is Maria. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I want to share with you Montessori at home and Montessori's principles on eating, how you can incorporate it in your life, and how is it also supported by the research as far as feeding therapy goes, and how it helps your children develop in many ways. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm a mom of two. I have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, and I've been practicing Montessori at home for about 3 years now. My kids go to a Montessori school, and I'm really passionate about giving you real life ideas and examples on how easily you can implement the Montessori method at home. I don't fully approach 100%. I always like to say my channel is Montessori based, and the reason why I clearly stated out there is because I feel like the Montessori principles and Montessori method is such a beautiful concept that anyone with any lifestyles and beliefs can take away some parts of it and implement it at home and do it successfully. And that is why I will share with you what principles we take at home, how we use them, and give you ideas, and also give you a perspective of Montessori on the entire process. One of the best things about Montessori approach is actually teaching kids a very healthy habits at the table in eating that they can carry on in their adult life. So Montessori believes in practical life, also care of themselves, and what practical life activities do is basically things that you do every day if you're not familiar with the method. So it's anything from cleaning up to putting on your own clothes, which that kind of goes into care of self. So everything in Montessori curriculum is connected. One of the biggest differences is that you start involving your children in food preparation, setting up the table, cleaning up of the table at a very young age, actually at the age of 1 and sometimes prior to 1. Now here's a few principles. So at about age like 11 to 12 months, you actually should give your child an opportunity to sit at the table of their size, at the chair of their size, and provide them real life utensils. I've done it with Scarlett pretty much at that age. Maybe she was closer to 12, 13 months just because I found about the approach at a certain time. And with baby Justin, I believe he's been sitting at the table ever since he's been able to sit up, just because he has an older sister. Introducing utensils is a very big part of it. First of all, it teaches kids table manners, and another part of it, it's actually working on their fine motor skills. It's hand-eye coordination, being able to get that spoon into the mouth. Another thing is that children typically in a 100% Montessori environment, they will have their own shelf where they will have their own dishes, their glasses, utensils, where they can go and set up their own table. I actually used to have it for Scarlett when she was little. As I have 2 children now, and the way our kitchen is configured, I do not have it, and I felt like when we introduced that part, it didn't make as big of an impact in our home. Now, if you want to follow the Montessori approach completely, also there is materials that you can purchase online. I'll plop it on the screen here. It's actually basically like a Tupperware on a table where your child can wash the dishes, and a drying rack where they will wipe it and dry it. It's actually part of the work cycle in Montessori classrooms in both toddler and primary years. Typically, kids between 3 and 4 still are into it. 4-year-olds and on are not so much. What I used to do at home when my children went through this stage, and at home they actually went through this stage a little earlier, I would say between 15 months up until right after 2, both of them were very, very excited about participating in washing the dishes. I would give them the scrubs. I'll pop in a few videos from back in the day when Scarlett was very little, and you will see those. So she was really excited about that part. So I've never had an actual shelf devoted to utensils and all that stuff in my house. I had it inside my cabinet, and then I moved away from it just because to our household, again, it didn't make as big of a difference. But what made a huge difference is food preparation. So what food preparation looks like in Montessori classrooms, actually, they have, let's say, snack time, and the child that is responsible for a snack and one of his friends, they will sit together with the teacher and prepare the snack. If it's cutting up the cucumbers, they will have an appropriate size knife, which I will share with you the utensils in this video to give you an idea what you can use to involve your younger children into prep at home and how we do it. And I think that food prep, actually, I'm really passionate about it. First of all, we have a screen-free environment at our house, so in the morning, I don't turn on TV. My kids are either coloring, playing with something, or they're cooking with me. And so I find cooking with children actually makes it much easier than trying to distract them with something and trying to cook. So I love involving the kids. One of the most important things that we've incorporated in our home life is Montessori kitchen helper chair. You can find those anywhere. You can buy them pre-built, you can build them yourself, you can buy them used. So there is so many ways to find them. I actually did a DIY video. I'll link it for you. It was not a very hard project, and we still use that chair. And again, I always say that we would add a second one if we had the space. Now, what do I do? For example, for breakfast, if I'm making scrambled eggs, kids, pop the eggs, open it up, and they scramble them. Now, it's not a messy process. It is messy sometimes. With my daughter, not so much. And again, this whole food preparation thing is also opening your children to trying new things. You actually start with young children. Find a tangerine that is has like an easy peel one. And I think at about 9 to 10 months, when your child is already able to grasp things, start introducing the peeling. Why do you want to do it? Well, it's not only about peeling the tangerine and then trying the tangerine. It's actually also the fine motor skills and that is required to peel a tangerine. Then when you sit them down, again at about age close to 1, a little earlier than that, sit them at the table with the spoon in their own porridge or in their own berries and nuts. It opens up a lot of the skills that they learn outside of also having just food. And when they're involved in the preparation of food, they're more likely to try it. An interesting fact that I actually learned recently, that your child's swallowing and chewing directly is connected to their speech development. Because and that's the reason why in Montessori approach, it is interesting how so many principles that Marie Montessori introduced hundreds of years ago, based on the observation right now, are confirmed by studies. It's amazing. Check out my videos because I like to bring that part, and that's why I am so excited about the approach, because it is based on studies. So anyways, introducing a glass versus a sippy cup or a bottle at about 12 months is very important, because the swallowing pattern of your child, the way they will be using the muscles of their mouth, their tongue, all of this is going to be first step for using those muscles in speech. So that was a fun fact. Also, introducing as many textures as possible is also a great way, and that is why you want to cook with them. For example, maybe they're not willing to try broccoli, but they will be more than willing to break it apart. And I don't want to say play with food, because you don't want to play with food, but it is not play in essence, because if you're going to cook it afterwards, and they might like to try it the next time they do it, just keep trying. The idea behind practical life and teaching your kids to cook and involving them in cooking is actually healthy eating habits for life. And when you are teaching them certain things, think about that, the age of 5 to 6, your child is actually going to be capable to chop their own salad, make their own, spread their own butter. So spreading activities, pouring activities, also cutting activities, all those things work on fine motor skills, hand-eye coordination, and teach your child healthy eating habits. So your child should be eating in the environment, sitting at the table with a chair, with the utensils. In Montessori approach, you do not use plastic, and I personally don't use plastic for a different reason. I just don't like the idea of my kids' food going to plastic and then that stuff just diluting in there. So I use ceramics. They do completely fine. After they eat, they bring me their bowls, and I wash them most of the time. They were both really into washing the dishes, as I mentioned. Now they're not as much, and I honestly don't make them unless, unless they want to do so. But a lot of the times, baby Justin will help me offload the dishwasher or put stuff in the dishwasher, because he just enjoys doing that. If you want to follow Montessori approach completely, you also might want to have snacks available. I used to have it on my bottom shelf in the pantry, and the reason I say used to is because, I still have some, I have applesauce and some crackers that they can have access. But one of the things you don't want to happen is your child snacking too much between the meals. and they will do it. The younger they are, the more they will be running there, just because of the novelty of it. So you might want to have the snacks out there on that shelf on it for a certain amount of time when it is okay to have a snack, versus just having it available all the time, because that might mess up their eating cycle. And one of the things in Montessori approach, again, eating is, it is freedom, but it is freedom within limits. I like to say it because that's what Montessori teachers a lot of times say. You set up the rules, and the rules are that when we sit at the table, we eat. When I'm running around, I'm not distracting you, turning on the show, I'm not reading to you. We sit down and eat. This is the time for us to eat as a family. So you need to make sure your child comes hungry to the table, because if they have been grazing all day long, they're not going to be hungry. And that's probably part of the issue with a lot of kids that aren't willing to sit down and eat. They're not hungry enough. So just recently watched a great video from the Discovery School. I'll plop it on you, that actually covered eating in a little bit more detail. I've actually recently did a post on the feeding therapy, and a lot of things that Montessori does as an approach, they do in the feeding therapy. So as far as feeding therapy, it's for the kids that, eat less than 5 foods. Their diet is very limited and they're picky eaters, but to the point where it actually isn't happening in their potential life. So in feeding therapy, what they do with children, they let them prepare it, they let them cut it. Sometimes they let them just do something with that food just to open them to textures. The earlier you start introducing textures to your child, the better chances of them never having any issues with picky eating. That's why baby-led weaning is so great, and it actually works so well with the Montessori approach, because you let your child eat it, foods in a natural form. That's another thing that is part of the Montessori approach, because you bring out the foods as a whole and you let your child peel them, skin them, cut them, slice them, sprinkle seasoning on them to their liking, and they're more likely to eat it that way. Now on the topic of the utensils. So the things that we use the most with kids, there is a specific knife. You can see it on the screen right now. It has a wavy blade, and it has a very thick handle that makes it easy for toddlers to grasp it. My 4-year-old still uses it. Then you might want to have a butter knife for spreading, because spreading activities like spreading peanut butter is extremely popular with the kids. We have a strawberry, I don't know how you call it, when you just poke the part of the strawberry. Kids like doing that. Also, I have the cherry peeler that helps you. You can also have a single cherry peeler when it goes one by one. It's a little easier for the kids to do that. And one of the best things that we always do together is making shakes or smoothies. And smoothie, honestly, is a great way to teach your children now, because when they're a little bit older and they're able to reach it all and go grab it on their own at like the age 6, that would be a quick lunch for them to make it on their own, and it would be healthy. All right, guys, I hope this video gave you some ideas on how you can incorporate it. Again, what I found the best for myself is food prep. Love doing it with my kids. My kids respond so well. They both love doing it. So we're frequently cooking together in the kitchen. Also, having a space for them where they sit together, or if you have one child, where they sit and eat at that table, having utensils in their reach. You can have snacks in their reach where they are hungry. They can go and grab it without asking you, because Montessori is all about independence, but also setting up some rules around it so your child does not graze all throughout the day. You can also have a cleaning up station where they can wash the dishes, dry it, and then put it away for a certain amount of time. That will probably be their favorite activity. If you don't want to do that, you can just set up a Tupperware and they can wash it there. I used to do that. And just introducing your kids to as many foods as possible in their natural whole form, different textures, that will set up a good, healthy eating habits for life. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Give this video a like if you did, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you later.